Fans speak where the plan runs deep. The team grind hard, don't eat, don't sleep. From best ball dreams to DFS streaks, they help you print money every single week. No cap, no gimmicks, we breaking limits. NFL bets, yeah, we live this business. Megan Steve, that OG vision. Draft room killers on a lifelong mission. More stress to the Sunday spread. Fan speaks, that voice that's inside your head. Best ball, DFS, NFL bets. They built it brick by brick, no regrets. Fan speak team, printing money since day one. Fan speak, forever.
Welcome back to another episode of Talking Ball. Steve-O speak. Lots to talk about today. We will talk about the fades. Also, some of these, rumors really surrounding the running backs with the franchise tag deadline. So we'll get into that, but let's hit up chat first. We got Mike Robb, Meg signed Steve to his chair to stream every day, like the Jets tied Brees to them. One day our heroes will be free. Yeah, we will get to the Brees situation soon enough. Go to comment. We got Whohames in here. Hope you're doing well, Whohames. I will be on at 3 after this show. With Whohames, we're going to talk combine, like risers and fallers, and just what we thought and what we can take away from it. So I would definitely drop the link in for Whohames stream before we get on out of here. But I will be on at 3 today talking that. Aiden going on about the fades. He says, off the top of my head, Pollard and Pickens at ADP feel like big fades. So I'm definitely not in there with you on Pickens. Pollard, I'm starting to get there. A lot of worrisome, about Jeremiah Love. He's now the betting odds favorite for the Titans. Does that mean a lot? No, not particularly not before free agency. Just because, Titans, obviously the Cardinals pick ahead of him, and he's been tied to the Cardinals some. So if the Cardinals don't do anything in free agency, then maybe they become better odds, or a team more clearly is gonna jump up and get him. Omega Kings in here, GM. Aiden saying, trying to wrap my head around where we're getting Bijan without Algier and Gibbs without Demont. Could be historical years, man. Yeah, I think in both cases we will see another back on that team, but I think it's probably a lesser version of Algier and Montgomery. So that should be extremely good. I think this really, and this is kind of what Omega King says, 1-2 spot goated. I think it's just locked in Bijan and Gibbs right now for the 1-2. A couple times I've taken like Chase or Puka too. I probably won't be doing that unless we see, like the Lions really make a shift. Scatteroo 101 changed my mind. 101 at the 15th round, 101 on toilet bowl. Ooh, everyone is just baiting Meg right now. Paul saying yes, let the hate flow through you. Good to see you, Paul. We got Steam WC in here. GM Steve, I have to ask your opinion on how you think the recent layoffs on Underdog who fetch our best ball and BR drafts. It seems Underdog is headed towards the prediction market. So, look, I heard Pete talk about this yesterday. I've heard some others talk about it. I would just say, like, TJ and Brett especially, I had a lot of interaction with Brett. Really good guys. And every time I interacted with them, really started to see it happen. I don't think it changes much in terms of, look, they're going to offer the BBM, they're going to offer the puppies, they're going to offer this stuff. I think it limits them and the the dailies. Like, they know this stuff generally fills, maybe you will see a couple smaller tournaments because they're a time, especially for other sports, just because those markets don't seem to be moving, I'd say, as well, particularly for like the dailies. So I think they might mitigate some overlay risk. What I think it means is probably less innovation, less what we saw the last couple of years of shifting to marathon sprints, weekly winners, the elim, and then changing the elim format, having a mixture. And I think that's a downside, just because I thought it was good. At the end, they started changing some of the structure of having some more tournaments, like there were 3 of 12 to advance, things of that nature. I don't necessarily know if the total volume and quantity is going to go down all that much, but I do think some of the innovation side will probably take a hit, would be my guess. So yeah, I hate seeing that. I hope that changes, but I've heard, some other bigger names in the industry talk, it's like DFS, like, DraftKings knows they can just fill a milli, they can fill the, the $5, the $3, the $9, $12, they just, I think that's what we'll kind of see. I'm hoping we still see some innovation and, them just trying more things outside the box. That's my hope. But I don't expect it as much with some of these recent moves. We got Chad Candles in here. GM Steve, hope you're doing well, Chad. Chad, of course, is the morning streamer. And, definitely check out his shows pretty much every morning on his channel. We got Fantasy Dog in here. Number 4 like. Appreciate that, Fantasy Dog. Got Meg checking in. Who saying I'm hearing the cards love also. Yeah, no, there's definitely some reports there, even more reports. Just going back to the Pollard conversation, like there have been multiple reports that Connor basically has to take less money or he's gone. We actually haven't heard that with Pollard. So obviously they get Jeremiah Love, he's gone, and that could just be a draft day decision where let's see if we can get him, we draft him, and then we cut or trade Pollard. But at least like directionally speaking, we're hearing more about the Cardinals willing to clean house and change the running back room than say the Titans. But I think both are in play, particularly after Love's combine. Disbanded in here with the dot. Appreciate you, Disbanded. Hope you're having a good day. Mike Rob, things I feel really affects are things like the Dog Bowl. I could see those going away quickly with these changes. Yeah, I think it might stay for football, but I'd be, just because I think there's enough buzz for it. Football is the strongest sport, obviously. But yeah, I think it is going to change some stuff. Yeah, no, I agree with this. They did release that. I don't know the behind the scenes. Maybe that was so far along in the works that they figured let's put it out there still. I do think they keep battle royales. Again, like it didn't fill every week, and maybe they'll just have a lower number some weeks, or just as is, like keep it outside of maybe week 1. It's going to be super popular. Like have a lower number just to again, like I said, mitigate that risk. Same for like the Wildcat, like they had to lower that multiple times throughout the year. So I think it will still be there, just maybe not as big of a top prize. Something, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, that I kind of agree with Mike. Like they were too far away, and then now they're going to reshape for the rest of the year. As Aiden says, everyone wants some love in their life. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt he was insanely impressive. They had a plan. Yeah, I agree. We got Hulk Smashed Potatoes saying hey, and yeah, it did. The timing just seems weird, but one of those things, there's never a good time for it because they're always releasing. I mean, they're always releasing dailies, right? So yeah, Hartman, GM. Oh, nice. I missed that. Steven said he thinks Pete is having a lull show tomorrow on this topic. I'll definitely have to catch that. I spent 3 years building, testing it, and then wow. Yeah, that is how it sadly happens, unfortunately. Maybe the AI agents finally got good enough to run themselves. So let's start off with some of my fades. I'm going to go position by position. at the quarterback market, there's no one really that I'm fading, particularly at the top, guys that we're drafting, just because I think end of the day, when we know who 32 string quarterbacks are, whether that's tomorrow or, August 15th, I'm going to be drafting all 32. And, I'll be predicting ahead of time on certain teams. Like last year I was predicting Daniel Jones versus, Anthony Richardson. I didn't take, I was less sure. I knew Shuck would sit for some amount of time, or that's what it seemed like. So I was taking Shuck. I wasn't taking Rattler. I took Rattler a couple times in Superflex, but was not taking Rattler. And so I had like 4% Shuck, 5% Shuck, and Shuck was on the winning BBM team. But Jackson Dart, I 3 to 5% on. I thought that'd be a more half and half. So on some like limb builds and first quarters, I was taking some Russ. That just didn't pan out. Though we had a good second week, so definitely pushed some teams through then. But and the Browns were just such a mess. I really thought at first Flacco was going to be kind of what happened. Like he might get 5 games or less. And then like late in the season with them trading away, Kenny Pickett, and just how bad Gabriel and Shador were looking in camp and in the first couple preseason weeks, then I started taking a bunch of Flacco, particularly again in like a limb and first quarter builds, just because I thought Flacco was going to get half the year, at least. And then that didn't materialize, and then he actually did get half a year's worth after he gets traded. So this year, every reasonable starting quarterback I'm taking, I'm very less on the unknowns right now. I have like 1 or 2 shares of Jacoby Brissett. I have 1 or 2 shares of Shador Sanders. I have a little bit more of Rodgers and Cousins than Chino, because I think they are the most likely to get starting spots. I have a couple shares of Tua. I've not sold his starter. I think I took 1 Derek Carr share so far. And who I'm out on is NX at ADP, because it really sounds like they're going to bring in some level of competition. And definitely out on JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy has to have the camp of his life to win the starting job. Now, again, we will see what level of competition they bring in, but that highly concerns me. I outside of like major injury, I would put the over under on his starts next year at like 2, 1.5. Like maybe if they're really bad and he plays at the end, or there could be 1 start or the vice versa. They're really good. They make the playoffs and they gave JJ McCarthy week 18. So not really feeling great about JJ McCarthy. I'm just out on him right now. Now, come later in the summer, if we get, amazing reports, that could change. But right now I'm just out on it. So running back, definitely more to talk about here. Early on, it's not a full fade, but I am out on Breece Hall with this ADP. I do not think, and we saw today, we'll talk about it a little bit more. We saw today he's tied to the Jets. I just don't see where we should be taking him in the top 2.5 rounds, even top total 3 rounds. I think he's more like 45 than 30. Like that's where his ADP. I think he's roughly a round and a half too high right now. Touchdowns are limited. Like this 252, I know the Jets were bad that year, but he had so many catches, just so many. That's tough to replicate. And 9 total touchdowns. He's just also not a major touchdown guy. I don't think he's ever going to be like, what we need from him is like total volume. Like his reasonable expectation is more like 8 to 9 touchdowns, which he got 9 that year. And 8 this following year, 212. But as we see, even with over 1,300 yards, not massively different. We just see a gap because of the drop in 20 catches. That's 10 points, and that seems like a lot. But you start adding up a few yards here, 10 points in catches, 1 more touchdown, and we see a 40-point drop in points from 2023 to 24. And is he good for about 200 points? Sure. I think that's safe. But the problem is right behind him, we have Kyron, who we know can do that. We have Travis Etienne, whether back with the Jags or somewhere else, 2 of these last 3 years has absolutely crushed 200 points. Javonte, coming off the year that he had, locked in with the Cowboys. This is where, like I said, 45, like Scadaboo. Look, if they don't bring in a big name back, Scadaboo obviously crushes us. In less than 8 games, he had 115 points. So that's kind of the range where I think he should be. Like DeAndre Swift is a 200 plus point game, 211 last year, and obviously he's just in a much better offense. So I'm just going to continuously have a tough time clicking Brees. Like I've taken him a handful of times when he slides slightly. I'm hoping with this news he will slide, and I'll probably always be lower on him, but at least I want to get some exposure to him. He's an explosive, fun player. Just tough to do. And then the other guys, I just think Hendo and Harvey are mispriced. I bumped them back up in my rankings some, but Henderson, even his numbers last year were so dependent on that few games that Ramondre missed. And if not for those, Henderson's season would have been very, very average. Like I don't know if he's cracking 150 points, and would have had like one big spike week. He had one big spike week with Ramondre. And kind of same with Harvey. Like Harvey obviously got better, and once Dobbins went down, if they bring in somebody, I think it nukes Harvey a little bit. Not like totally, but just Harvey should be going in the 60s or 70s versus 52. I moved him up slightly because so far they haven't brought in anyone, obviously, but that could change. Jalen Warren's another one that I highly worry about. We saw last year Gainwell outplayed him, and he got some great variance at the end, like that Lions game where he had 2 explosive runs, which is not really his MO historically. And he did set his touchdown record, 8. He had 6 touchdowns in his career prior to that. But at the same time, I worry whether it's Caleb Johnson, whether it's they bring it back Kenneth Gainwell, Aaron Jones, who obviously has ties to McCarthy and Rodgers, Tony Pollard, if he becomes available, has ties to McCarthy, Rico Dowdle has ties to McCarthy. So there's a long list of guys who I think could come in and not totally nuke Jalen Warren, but kind of put him back to where he was, with Najee Harris as kind of the secondary back. And that, as we saw, can be very, he missed a couple games in 2024, so his point per game was down from 2023, but it was at least closer. But he might be more of a 140, 150 point type guy next year. I think that's much more likely. Tootin is the next guy. I am right now, I think I've taken 1 share of Tootin so far. I'm just kind of out until I see what happens with ETN or another running back, because I think they're bringing in somebody. If it's ETN, I think this is a terrible price for Tootin. If they bring in J.K. Dobbins, if they bring in Kenneth Gainwell, then this price could be okay-ish for Tootin. But I don't think Tootin should go up. Sadly, I think he will go up if it's more the latter, what I'm talking about. I think that is definitely directionally wrong. LaQuint Allen outsnapped him last year. Now that could potentially change, but the fact of the matter is this is probably a 3-man backfield. And so we want the lead back. This is not really the backfield. We want the second back as much, just because there's not going to be enough meat on the bone for you, in my opinion. Tony Pollard, as Aiden mentioned, I think he's a good running back. I mean, we're talking, 4 straight years of 1,000 yards, last 2 years on, probably one of the worst offenses in the league, and, still produces solid points. If the Titans want to run it back with him, I think he's fine. I think he could have a decent market if he becomes available, but it's a lot of unknown right now. I think there's a lot of unknown here, so I'm trying to limit my exposure. Same with Chuba Hubbard. I have a little bit, but this feels like a high price, and we know Monty's going to flip him. I think at the end of the day, after Algier and Dowdle sign, I think they might flip Hubbard. But I don't want zero Hubbard because reports are he's going to be their lead back. Now, what does that mean? They have Jonathan Brooks, they have Trevor Etienne, they could add somebody. So I think a lot of things could happen there. So I don't want 0 right now, but I don't want to go overboard just because I'm not sure there's a lot of max ceiling here from them. After that, though, I'm pretty open to these guys until we get to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, and I think everyone knows Woody Marks. Like, Woody Marks was going too high. Now he should fall considerably. So, if he gets into the 150s, 160s, I'll take him there. Until then, I'll be out. JCM, I don't know if anyone read Matthew Berry's, was it 30 things or 35 things I'm hearing from the combine. And he admits in there, like, sometimes he's dead on the mark with those rumors. Other times he's way off. And as he admitted in his column, last year he said, I don't know if there'll be a market for Sam Darnold. So, some of those things are a lot of smoke out there. But he had a whole paragraph or two about how Washington really wants to upgrade the running back position. He pointed more towards the free agent market than draft, but I think it could obviously go either way. And said that while Washington likes Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, they view him as a 2 or a 3. So that doesn't sound as a ringing endorsement for him to be drafted 123. Now, he could be worth that still as a 2, depending on the 2 that, the 1 they get. But I'm just kind of out at this price because this is probably near his ceiling, in my opinion. And, I think when they sign somebody or when they draft somebody, even if they draft somebody in the 3rd round of the draft, like, I don't think we should be taking JCM at 123, come BBM. So that's kind of my take. These other ones, like, I'm lower on Trey Benson, though, maybe just because it's a new coaching staff. I don't know how much he's fit. He's just dealt with major injuries. He might stick around, but again, if they take Love or if they make a big splash with like Kenneth Walker or ETN, I'm gonna be out. So I'm just kind of on a wait and see mode because I don't think his ADP really rises, or it shouldn't. Like, even if James Conner gets cut and they don't sign anyone, do not have Trey Benson's ADP rise. I think that is a terrible call because that probably signals they are drafting like Jeremiah Love. These other guys, I'm just I take a little bit. I'm definitely out at Zach Charbonnet at this price. I think he should go more like 190, 200. I talked about Jonathan Brooks yesterday. I have just a couple shares. I think he should go like at the bottom of this range, like below Sean Tucker, below Aaron Jones, kind of below Vidal. There's a little bit more upside there, but coming off 2 major knee injuries, we just have to see it. We have to see that he's healthy. And then after that, like Joe Mixon, obviously I'm fully out on at this point. That's kind of it. Receiver, no one early on that I'm like super out on. We've now seen Neighbors in London slide some. I think they're now going more in the range they should, so I feel more comfortable with them. I'm a big believer in Pickens. They franchise them. They will eventually sign them long term. I would feel extremely confident in that. And he's going to be just a massive piece. The show Who Hames and I did 2 weeks ago talked about this. Even when Lamb was there, Pickens was putting up big numbers easily comparable to other receivers in this range, and honestly was basically on par with Lamb. So when they're together, we're taking Lamb at 8. Taking Pickens at 23 seems like a value. AJ Brown I'm lower on, but not out on. The only guy here I'm out on is Rashee Rice. I just can't take him with what he has hanging over him right now. Like, the guy could be an absolute 0 and next season, like, truly could get suspended for the season or like 10 games, something like that. There's also outs where the Chiefs just flat out cut him. And maybe somebody signs him, maybe not. I mean, it could get very messy. And taking that level of risk here, to me is insane. Like we just talked about injury guys like a Jonathan Brooks who, you're wondering about taking the 160s. We're taking this guy 32, 33. And I get the upside, but there's just a massive, massive downside. It's just not worth it. Like, yeah, could he be better than T-Mac? Could he be better than this? Sure. But also T. Higgins can be better than him. We've seen that. Lad McConkey with Mike McDaniel could be better than him. Just stuff like this. I'm lower on Garrett Wilson, but not out. I'm lower on Mbuka. Now, if Evans leaves, I think this price is fine. He probably rises. That's probably a mistake. I'm lower on Mbuka, lower on Burden, but not totally out on. Don't love the Waddle price, just with where the Dolphins' passing game is. But not super out on, not like full fades. Parker Washington, and Michael Wilson. These two guys, I like them as players, but I think their prices are simply wrong. I've had a very tough time clicking them. I've been very, very hesitant to click them. Simply put, Pierce and Jacoby Myers, I think, are just and Pearsall are just far, far better clicks. And two, just a lot can change, particularly for Parker Washington. Travis Hunter is a thing. I know right now the reports are Hunter's playing defense, but at the end of the day, there's so many things that can change that. And Travis Hunter is undoubtedly a better receiver than Parker Washington. Maybe that means Parker Washington gets traded. He's not tied to this team, Cohen or Gladstone. So that's an out. Michael Wilson, I think, has a more secure role, but he's just clearly the third option on this team as they head into next year. Maybe he outproduces Marvin Harrison. I don't know. I think LaFleur is going to come in and find a way to get Harrison going, would be my guess. Michael Wilson can be fine, but he's probably more like a guy who should go in the 90s than that high. I'm not really out on any other receiver. I think going maybe slightly too high of a price. But then Brandon Ayuk and Tyreek Hill, I'm just out. Like, just not taking the risk. We need to see where Ayuk ends up. We need to see where Hill ends up. I just can't pay that kind of price on guys who I don't know if they're playing next year or where they're playing next year and if they'll stay on the field next year. So that's kind of it. Tank Dell, again, I've said before, I think Jalen Noel and Tank Dell's prices should be flipped. I can't take Tank Dell at 175, not when we have these other far more known quantities at receiver, like DK right ahead of him, Trey Harris, Adonai Mitchell, Elijah Surratt, Tesla, just so much upside either in the rookies and young guys, where Tank Dell just not fitting into my drafts. That's kind of it for draftable receivers. Tight end wise, I struggle with the fan end price just because of the offense, not because of his talent. I just struggle to take any Browns player, particularly a pass guy who's tied to a quarterback. Like Judkins is impacted by the strength of the Browns or lack thereof. But Fannin is doubly impacted because it's all about the quarterback play, and defenses now are going to key in on him more. They have more tape on him, particularly if they don't add major weapons. Now no Njoku, so Fannin just now becomes the focal point of defenses to stop in the passing game. That doesn't seem great when your quarterback play is going to be this questionable. So I think he's still probably a good fantasy asset, but his ability to be tight end 5 or better, I think is pretty thin in given that the situation that he's in. Like, I think we're kind of drafting him at his 99th percent outcome, right? Like, what are the chances he's 1, 2, 3, or 4? Probably pretty low. So 5 I feel is a stretch, and So I just have a tough time with it. I love the player, just hate the situation. And then, as you know from some showdowns, George Kittle at 120 is just way too high, particularly when we're getting Ferguson behind him, Goddard behind him, Strange behind him, Juwan Johnson, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews has basically outproduced George Kittle. They're both older tight ends. Outside of last season, both have had some injury issues, Kittle more. So it's not like Kittle wins on that department. And then from a points per game standpoint, you look at the last year it was Kittle, but prior to that, it's Andrews. It's like Andrews just across the board. So, and now with Likely leaving, it just makes more sense. And then even just going down, I think continuing right now, Travis Kelce is such a value, risky if he retires, but Hunter Henry, all these guys, some of these free agents like Likely, etc. Dalton Schultz, I think, is just massively underpriced. Njoku, I think, is fine. There's some reports the Eagles could be interested in him. So no real other fades. I'm not really in on Chig. I think it's less likely Chig gets like a starting role. I think he's more like a secondary tight end somewhere. I'm out on Evan Ingram right now. I think he gets replaced. And Ben Sinnott, he's definitely not going to be the starter for Washington. So those are the guys. So not much in the tight end department. All right, let me hit out chat. I know that was a lot. So I will answer, and then let's get into a draft because I do have a time crunch here. So I will get in a draft and answer chat as I do this. That's my actives. I've got 4 hours, so I need to do a couple of those. So I'm going to count it down, entering 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. All right. Ooh, a lot of good chats. Sorry for going on my rants. Let's see, where was chats? Money in the thing. My barber gives me the biggest fades. Nice. Paul, Genty, Jefferson, Love. 3 full fades in the first 15 picks at those prices. Yeah, I'm famously definitely out on Love at his price. I've taken him some when he goes 17, 18, 19, 20. But yeah, I'm going to be lower on him until we see a landing spot. Jefferson, I was with you at the start. Now, with all the news that they're tying themselves to basically every quarterback available, I think they get somebody and he just massively goes up. Now, should he be in the consideration for wide receiver 1? No, definitely not. All right, we are in here with Sacrilegious, but that's all I see. Let me know if somebody else from chat got in here. Because if he had Carson Wentz last year, he probably would have paid off a turn pick for 17 games. And I know that's a crazy sentence to say, but I feel like it's kind of the truth. We saw it through the 5 games that they played. Yeah, get ready for more Browns quarterback mess this year. Yeah, that is quite the worry. All right, we'll make our pick. Then I'll keep catching up on chat. So I'll go CMC. It was going to be CMC or Amon-Ra for me. Scatterboot, easiest fade at ADP. So if they don't add a running back, if they add a running back, yeah, it's bad. It's bad for him and even way worse for Tracy. If they add Kenneth Walker, I said this yesterday, he becomes the Charbonnet. So Scatterboot should be like 80, 90, 100, somewhere in that range. And Tracy is just totally dead. But if they don't add a running back, I think Scatterboot is fine at ADP because I think he's clearly above Tracy. We'll see what Matt Nagy thinks. But so I think he's a very good bet at ADP. if they don't add a running back. But now we actually have to have that risk. I didn't think they were live to really add anything this offseason, but that is where we're at. Little Hampton fall. Let's see if we can get it. We do not, but I will take Barkley. I'm definitely not in on McBride or Bowers at their price, but I forced myself at times to take them. That maybe was a time to take McBride because I don't want to have zero. In the Puppy Superflex Finals, Rattler was on 3 of the top 10 teams. Chuck was on 2. Do with that info what you will. Well, it just shows like anybody who gets starts is valuable, even if it's for half a year. So if we have a situation this year where it feels like it could be the same, like somebody like Michael Penix is going to be way more live for Superflex. Let's say Kevin Stefanski brings in his old friend Joe Flacco. I don't think Joe Flacco is going to, he has not started a full season since 2017. So call me crazy, but Michael Penix would then be a solid pick in Superflex. So could Joe Flacco, because Flacco could start 8-10 games. Penix starts the rest, similar to that Saints situation. Wait, what is this, Chad? Wow, so Knicks might be under threat. Not sure I'm getting that. Was there some report about the Broncos? How about Simpson? I am fading Ty Simpson. That was a good call out, Stephen WC. Yeah, I believe he'll be lucky to start more than 3 games this year. I mean, maybe there's a situation where there's an injury and he gets forced into it, but I would be shocked. He only started 15 games in college, and even a lot of that was kind of questionable early on. I think he just needs some time. He's got an NFL arm. We need some time in development. With certainty of good situations, those would all be top 10 picks. Got to take the dip, especially with Jetta. They're bringing in a competent. Yeah, that's how I feel about Jefferson. Now, if they told me it's going to be JJ McCarthy, I'm out at HP. Like, he just 17 games of JJ McCarthy last year, and we wouldn't have wanted to take Justin Jefferson in the 4th round. So coming up here, testing me with Rashee Rice. So running back. We go 3 in a row. I'll go Higgins. I'm Higgins over T-Mac. I just feel it's just way better chance, even though he's a quote-unquote number 2. It's tough. Bucky, I'm lower on Bucky also just because I worry about his touchdown upside. I think he will get the vast majority of the carries and targets. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he has like 15 plus 100 yards in this offense. I don't think he's getting Bijan 2,000 plus, like 1900, 2,000. But, 1,500, 1,600 yards, I think that's real live. But I think he could be a tough to get to like 8 touchdowns and probably doesn't get as many catches as Bijan. So we're talking like 50 catches, 1,500 yards, maybe 60 catches if we're lucky, 8 touchdowns. That's a good year, but there's just other guys in this range that can do that. You're a true sicko when you rank 1,372 players. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Kyron over Bucky for sure. I do have Shedeur Sanders ranked. Enough of that fake news. I downloaded the ranks from Underdog. I basically go through about the top 400, pull up, some guys who are out of there who I wanted, but I didn't go through every 1,372 players. I can't imagine fading. Like, I don't want to fade him. Like, I want a share of Brees. It's just that ADP. I'm hopeful now that he's tied to the Jets that he falls. I don't know if that's true. Again, like Garrett Wilson, I like him, but what are we doing here? It's a tough click for me. We'll go Javonte here. You know, he's now going in this range. And I think that's very, very fair. Yeah, I mean, they could hold an open tryout. Meg saying Hendo and Harvey are on my fade list. Article in the movie could change my mind, but don't like the prices. Prices are bad, but it's just they're not like full fades because. And I said this yesterday, I think in certain builds, like in this build, a Hendo or Harvey make a lot more sense because I have McCaffrey, I have Barkley as my complete feature backs. I think it's a problem when you start your draft with like a Hendo or a Harvey. Like they're just not appealing if you're starting or they're your number two, because they're going to have weeks of 5 points and they're going to have weeks of 25 points. And you say that's every back, but it's really not. Like top end backs will consistently, you know, you can count the number of games that Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, and probably Derrick Henry had under 10 points on less than on maybe one hand. Like they might have had 5 between the three of them. And those only McCaffrey last year was a first rounder. So, you know, and even when they do it, like Henry, I know had some like 9-point games and stuff like that, and that's still maybe playable. I mean, end of the day, 9 points is going to mean, you know, that difference could mean a lot more than a couple like 4 or 5 point games. So, like taking Henderson as my quote unquote flex play would make a lot more sense than my third running back when I have 2 guys that I feel good week in, week out. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right, no quarterback here. We have 3 running backs. We got T. Higgins, too early for Burrow. I'll go Watson. Kind of very tied between Watson and Dunze here. I think I have more Dunze, so. Mega likes Hendo, not Harvey. I just don't know. I just don't know if Henderson's going to have a big enough role this next year. And that's the tough thing. Like he will have those games where we saw, you know, like that Patriots game, or I'm sorry, that Bills game, that second Bills game where he had like 2 explosive runs, and Stevenson played that game, I believe. You know, but it's, yeah, you just need gonna need the home run shot. He is the epitome of a spike week player. We got JT in here. Hope you're doing well. Let me make my pick and then I'll get back into chat. I know I had a lot to catch up on, so apologize. Let's take Burrow to get a more elite quarterback. I agree with this. The problem, I actually would like Henderson more, or like in the same vein as my third running back in like a marathon format, where if he gets that spike week 2, you know, he has that 35-40 point week, that just crazy insane week because he, you know, gets 3 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 2 rushing, and has 200 combined yards. That means that's massive, and that's massive not just to help push me through the playoffs as it would in this kind of tournament, but it can separate me because most other people's RB3s aren't doing that, right? So I would like it better in whether it's drafters or like an underdog marathon format a little bit more, because it can just massively, it counts that whole year, that same. So that would be my argument for that. Like guys who consistently can hit spike weeks, like a McCaffrey, like a Barkley, if their offense isn't terrible, like a Jonathan Taylor, those guys are massively valuable for playoff format because, Bijan, obviously, Gibbs, like Gibbs didn't have a great playoff run out. Okay, but that we know that he has the ability to hit that 5, 6, 7 times. Same with these other backs that I'm mentioning, like a Hendo and a Harvey to a lesser extent. They have that ability, but we'll probably be lucky if we get it 2 times. And potentially that just makes it far less likely that they hit 1 and since their floor is so bad. Hold on 1 second. Boy, this is not a good fun range. We'll just take Ramondre, be better at running back. And so the way I look at it is, for instance, like a guy like a JT, even though after the bye and after Daniel Jones went down, his numbers went down, he was still getting 12, 13, 14 points a game. So yes, he was your second round pick, but he could still hit your playoff lineup, push you through, more as your flex play. But Henderson getting 5 points is going to kill your playoff lineup. And yes, there is an opportunity cost difference, this year first, but let's say it's second, like a Derrick Henry or Saquon this year, like what JT was last year. Like if every week of the playoffs, JT had double-digit points. Let's say that's Henry this year. He doesn't have that 40-point explosion. Maybe you don't win the whole thing, but he can absolutely push you through every single week. Just because he's still giving you a quality week. That's my argument for it. Endo was wondering when somewhat because of explosiveness, but he didn't have great vision and wasn't trusted, which his price would fall. May do a few drafts of both Pat's running backs. Monty going for Jalen now. I think that's right. I mean, there's no way Jalen's getting that number of touches. I don't know if he rises up to Javonte. I think Swift should go ahead of him. And like I said, we will need to see, like, this is going to get readjusted when some of these free agents land, or we get clarity, like who the Cardinals back is, who the Titans back is. Not to say that all those guys are going to rise, but I do think that will just reshape the running back board quite a bit. If the Chiefs go out and sign Rico Dowdle, where does he go? Or Tyler Algier for that matter. I think he's going to go up pretty high. Way too much early capital for him, but you need to back him up with Demont. I agree with that. Like, it's also how you build. And that's why I say, like, I like Hendo as or Harvey as like your third back when you have certainty, or if you're building it late, like you need to have a lot of those guys who I know can get me 10 to 15 points week in, week out. Start randomly naming rookies. Bryce Lance, I didn't move him up much from the combine. He's somebody I'm reevaluating. I don't know. He's probably like 400 for me. Sam Roush, I moved up considerably. Put him essentially right next to Max Clare in my rankings. That's probably like 250 something. And Seth McGowan, I'm lower on. I can't remember where I have him. Maybe 275, 300 some. So risk that he stays in committee, but he takes another leap. Yeah, I mean, he could. It's just, I think it's less likely that he takes the leap. Let's go Denzel Boston. I need to catch up at receiver. Go to the board. Just because Ramondre is pretty sad. Like Harvey, I think you can make a better case because depending on who they get, I mean, we saw the issues we saw it through the playoffs, like Ramondre clearly and into the Super Bowl, just clearly ahead of Henderson and by a lot. Not to say they don't like Henderson, not to say his role can't grow a little bit, but I just think it's going to be like a 60-40 split. Money of PPR Tyler Frame. What's up, bro? Demont will probably settle in the 6th round. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, 6th, 7th round, definitely going to shoot up. I've gotten some Monty 120s, 130s, insane closing line value. Hard to imagine taking them down this tournament. I will say, like, I get that, but this tournament's not even half full. Like, it's one thing if the tournament's 80% full and his 80, like, so, and the other thing is so many other ADPs are going to shift. So even if, like, you know, I taken Monty at 60 in this draft, and it's like, oh, all these guys, you know, half the drafts got them 120, 130. Yeah, but then I'm taking a guy later who they took too early. You know what I mean? Like, and vice versa. Or I'm getting, and I take, you know, Mark Andrews late, and he rises up, or, you know, or quarterback. Take Jordan Love. Wasn't sure if he'd be back. Or yeah, like somebody like Malik Willis, like currently going like 130, and he goes, you know, when he signs with the Cardinals or the Vikings, he starts going 100. Well, you know, like, I think that kind of evens out in a tournament like this. I think it's a little bit of a different thing in like a BBM where, you know, particularly if those shifts late, but with the shift being less than half full, or was it Overzet? I'm not sure who you're talking about there, JT. Taking both running backs at sharp meg. I've done it a couple times, but another thing not talked about. Also, the Pats schedule is about to be insanely tough for 2. Yeah, and they need to fix their offensive line. Somebody mentioned yesterday in our Discord, it might have been Div, that Morgan Moses retired. So I actually never confirmed that, but I assumed it to be true. And so, you know, they need to replace another starter. Yeah, stacking RB, I think certain RB rooms make a lot of sense. It could, but I think we see a lot more upside with May. You know, also presumably he has better weapons. When you have Diggs, Hunter Henry, and then the rest of your weapons are Matt Collins, Kayshon Boutte, you know, little Kyle Williams, little Demario Douglas. Like, that's pretty thin, like, compared to anyone else. You know, basically any other playoff team that was exceedingly thin. I'm going to take J.K. Dobbins and just be done at running back. I think Dobbins reasonable to get a good landing spot. I really like my top 4. Let's make this a 5 RB team. Add some depth at receiver probably. I agree about Garrett Wilson for sure. Stack Love and Scatterboo for all the money, and then LOL. He did, but he's just never, like, he doesn't have a major ceiling. In even last year, he had a good week 1 against the Steelers. He had a couple other good weeks, but it was complete garbage time. And yes, garbage time counts, but can we count on garbage time for 10 weeks, 12 weeks? You know, like that's a tough thing. And, you know, maybe depending on who they get at quarterback, you know, and now when he returns, they do have better receivers. When he was out there, it was a rookie tight end who had never played, but now Mason Taylor is, you know, full year under his belt. go with Mendoza. Just be done at quarterback, done at running back. Just focus on these two positions. And then they go to get Adonai Mitchell, John Mechie, just a lot deeper at the receiver position than when he got hurt. Oh, yes, money in a thing. Yes, I did see Peter was that talking about money in it. Sorry about that. I'm not connecting that. Jets draft saying in 2027, I'm all in. I look at it, I think Garrett Wilson is okay-ish. It's just, if he's healthy, he'll get 1,000 yards, maybe even 1,200, 5 to 7 touchdowns. And so he could roughly pay off that ADP. Maybe end up being slightly higher. It's just, he's not the type of receiver in that range who has a massive ceiling. Like, Devontae Adams goes after him. Adams has a much bigger ceiling. McConkey has a much bigger ceiling. I'd even say like a guy like Devonta Smith has a bigger ceiling than him, particularly if Goddard's moving on. Steven, Etsy should probably have 1% of him. I'm taking Jaden a lot for the exact opposite, easier schedule and rebound from last season. Yeah, I mean, I don't love that Washington just cut their center. It seems like they're going to have a downgrade at center, maybe a downgrade at guard. And I just want to see weapons. One reason why I think they are very in on Jeremiah Love, not sure he'd last to them. Juwan Johnson is they've really talked about wanting to be more of an under center team, a lot more play action. And I think they need a running back to make that work. Like, play action is only as good as the threat of the running back. Linebackers aren't going to bite. Safeties aren't going to cheat up if it's JCM out there and Chris Rodriguez. Now, if it's Jeremiah Love, you better believe those safeties start creeping up, those linebackers start creeping up, and that can just create massive, massive holes in defense for Jaden, who's a very accurate and anticipatory thrower to pick apart. So I would love to see them add, and it could be a free agent, even like a Rico Dowdle significantly helps their running back situation. Most of the time, unless you're really behind a receiver, you never click the Washington Pearsall tier. I like Pearsall a lot, but yes, that is a quarterback range as well. Which team do you think is most likely to surprise us and not make any running back moves? I'm thinking the Bears from last year. I'd say the Saints. I think you look at it and the Saints, you could say the Titans just because they have Pollard and Spears, but I'll say the Saints because I still think they like Kamara. They took Devin Neal late in the draft last year, and he, kind of got injured, never got going. Kendrick Miller, I think, is probably about done, but, still on the team. And then Audric Estime kind of showed a little bit at the end, so I could see them just have bigger needs to fill. We'll take Kelsey here just because, I think Henry is the safer click. Kelsey is just the more valuable click because if he doesn't retire, he's going to be going 30, 40 spots higher, in a week or two. And then this is going to be a 9 wide receiver team. So let's go back to the board for a minute. Sorry, still catching up on chat. Yeah, Saints would be the one I don't think that I think are more likely to not make any big moves. Meme says he'd love to see Harrison trade for BTJ for the memes. That would be kind of interesting. Atlanta for not making a running back move. I mean, I guess I wouldn't consider them because they could with Bijan, they could just draft somebody on day 3 and just say, okay, we got our backup running back. Njoku to the Eagles. I saw that was a rumor. Nothing can be official on that, I don't believe, just yet. But yeah, I think Njoku to the rumors makes a lot of those rumors make sense. He should get less than Goddard. Obviously, as an athletic profile, that could be good. Donnie Murphy coming in, saying coming in late, but wanted to say what up, Steve, and all. Lots of NFL news. Yeah, we're just talking NFL news. As I draft, nobody else got in this draft with me, as far as I know. But we'll do another one after this. Then I'll be on, speaking of Whohame's channel, right after. So I'll be dropping a link for that shortly. And Joker to the Eagles would be lit. That would be fun. Burger Strange and a dart throw third, like Muth, feels like a great tight end room. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, that's another, just the other issue I mentioned about like Kittle at 120 is you can so easily build, like I have Juwan Johnson, who, it's been years since he's been a touchdown weapon, but we know that's in his bag. Travis Kelce, who's just a massive value. And I mean, Barner one, I probably won't take a tight end here, but whatever my third tight end is, maybe I take Njoku. No, I want more Trey Harris. I need to catch up a little bit at receiver. I'm probably going to go my third tight end, 19th, 20th round. We got Peppertoni in here. Sup, pups? Hope you're doing well. Steve, great player breakdown. Appreciate that. I think Aiden is Mike's Burners Town are loving late 3 tight ends. JJ becomes 108 next week. I think he'll start to get pushed up. That would be a little high for me. I think he'll go in the back half of the first round is what I want to say. Just because, we have a Monra there. People like Lamb. Of course, you have JT and McCaffrey. James Cook. Will he sometimes go in the 108? I doubt his ADP actually goes 108. But I do think it will get firmly pushed into the first round. So maybe we do getting some tight end value here. Maybe go with one of these 3. Maybe I will take a Jet. Talked about it earlier, kind of actually skipped over it. I don't mind some Mitchell late. It's his hands are, shall we say, questionable, but boy, is there the raw talent there. And one of the things I really liked is I think the Jets change of scenery helped. He still had some issues with drops, of course, as we'd expect. But I think he goes in as their number 2 wide receiver. This might be somewhat of a surprise. I've mentioned this before. I don't see the Jets using either their first round picks and honestly, or their second round picks on a wide receiver. As strong as a wide receiver draft as this is, maybe they add one in the 3rd, 4th round. But I just don't know if they need to prioritize it when you got guys like Mitchell and Mechie, who is, I believe, a restricted free agent. So let me know if you guys have seen any other Twitter rumors while I've been streaming. Sam discussed that 2/3 of UD's fraud department was cut and there's concern moving forward. I think a lot of that, we did talk about the UD stuff earlier. And for me, I think it's more with the draft games and the innovation. I think a lot of the fraud stuff is, I'm guessing that's automated, right? Like they get flagged and sure you can send teams and somebody reviews it, but most of it is automated. And then I would imagine they have like somebody's real eyeballs. Just love how teams shape up, amount of depth you get it. That's how I feel. Running back, just the the thing about drafting late tight end is we relatively know these guys are starters. Could something happen with a Freiermuth or a Gesicki, or I'll even a Theo Johnson, but Gunnar Helm maybe isn't a starter, but we can project that a lot easier. Let me take Torrey Horton. We can project that a lot better than like these receivers, these running backs for sure. Like, I know people think it's crazy, but probably the best running back in this group is Najee Harris, and probably by a big margin. Potentially Caleb Johnson, he probably has the biggest upside, or Devin Neal in the situation that I talked about earlier, but so many of these guys could be just straight zeros. In quarterback, Aaron Rodgers and Cousins are still there, so maybe there's still some starters. Maybe Shador Sanders ends up a starter. But tight end, we just feel a lot better about even these guys being starters. So that's why I'm less I'm less into like too early, like people who take too early quarterbacks and be done. I'd still generally tack on a third just for insurance, but taking 2 tight ends, maybe it's viable. But if I take 1, usually I'm just taking then 1 in the mid tier and then stopping at 2, or then 2 too late also. Just because I'd rather use these late round picks on the tight end position or wide receiver. That's why this draft I wanted to stop running back and quarterback early. So coming up on this pick, I'm going to get another receiver here. Just took Torrey Horton. Cooper Kupp, I think, is a value, but I'm going to go Ryan Flournoy. We just saw he had a nice year. I think that continues. It's kind of capped, and I mentioned this yesterday. He's basically like Tesla, right? Like locked into number 3 role on a really good passing team. We get 20 pick discount, 25 pick discount from Tesla. So I think it's pretty good. Kowski asking, who's more dead, Tracy, Dobbins, or Marks? I think Tracy's only dead if the Giants do bring in Jeremiah Love or like a Kenneth Walker. If it's just Scatterbo and Tracy, I think Tracy's relatively fine at his price. I think Marks is dead at his price right now, but he could still have a role. He just needs to fall to like the 150s, maybe 160s. Dobbins, free agency will tell the tale. Like if he signs somewhere where he has a role, back with Denver, great. He signs even with the Chiefs, great. Those kinds of Commanders, great. He signs with the Lions, okay. He signs with the Falcons, not great. So I think it just kind of all depends on where he kind of ends up. Let's see Harbaugh, Brandon, Keaton, Mitchell. I think Mitchell's still under contract, but would not shock me if there's some sort of late round move. But that is the thing. Like we have so many different play callers, 10 new head coaches. Just a lot is going to shift on these offenses. I think there's no question about that. That was another thing, I've been saying it for a while, but Matthew Berry, he talked to a number of agents and they brought up that point is we've just not seen this many new head coaches. Didn't really highlight the offensive coordinators, but I think even offensive coordinators, which is particularly when they're from a new team, we saw it last year with Seattle. It was still Mike McDonald, but they bring in Clint Kubiak, and their receiver room outside of JSN totally reshaped. Their tight end room, move on from Noah Fant, let AJ Barner and Arroyo. Quarterback room, very different. The only thing that kept the same was the running back room. And of course, we see it, all the time with new head coaches. So yeah, I expect there could be a lot of little moves that we just don't expect. So if I can get Gesicki, I'll make him my third tight end, pairing with Burrow. A little thinner just because Gesicki's far from a lock, and Kelsey with the retirement injury. I mean, Gesicki will play. It's just like how much. We get Sweet Leaf in here. Afternoon, Lloyd, Steve. No risk it, no biscuit. Yeah, appreciate it. And Meg are lockstep on tight end builds. Of course, Steve, are those late rookie tight ends who didn't run off your board? Claire, Trig, Jolly. Not off. I still like Max Claire a lot. I think he's a complete tight end. I think he can block. We'll see what his athleticism is. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Trig worries me because Trig just has a lot of question marks coming in, and I think he's very raw. He still could get day 2 draft capital, but could be seen by, I think he's more likely to be seen by teams as a project. So even if he goes in the second round, it could be a team, who looks for him as a longer term investment. Up in one pick. Yeah, Bears seem to be the favorite for Crosby now. It sounds like Crosby will get moved. Very interesting. Bears make a lot of sense. Let's make this last pick. I was going to take Mims last time, so might as well just take him here. And I'll go over my team real quick, and then, but let me hit up chat for a little bit. Yeah, DJ Moore plus a pick, probably 2 picks, but probably like a first and a fourth, or first and a third, something like that. I could see getting it done. And that could be a win-win for both sides. Obviously, like Raiders need another weapon and more draft picks and free up even more money. Then I imagine they massively invest on O-line and defense, now not needing to have to invest in a wide receiver. And the Bears have absolutely strengthens their defense. He's going to be a 5th round pick in a month. That would be my hope. It's not that he's not a good running back. It's just situation. I just think he's capped. That's my worry. Pickens is who I was trying to fade some. He's a big baby in-game quitter. Ain't going to like the franchise tag. Sure, but he's going to be re-signed. I don't think he's playing on the franchise tag. I think they will re-sign him. I would love for it to be tomorrow, but I think they re-sign him by the time season opens up. And there is some concern about those guys who like hold out, and Terry McLaurin last year, Chase before, etc. There's a little concern with that. I don't know how sticky it is, so I'm not going to overly react. He's just too talented. The offense throws the ball enough. I mean, they're going to throw 4,500 yards and 30 to 40 touchdowns. Like, there's just so much opportunity. If Reese is a Jet, will they try to move him again before the trade deadline? Now, that is possible if he doesn't agree to a long-term deal, but I don't think they trade him before. And if they sign him to a long-term deal, then obviously they're not going to trade him before the deadline. But yeah, they're definitely not going to trade him now. Now, if he starts the season good, but they're just awful and they know they're firing everyone again, maybe they just trade him, because he's not agreeing to a long-term deal. Like Hendo, mid-fifth feels perfect gamble. He busts or takes a leap. plays more if he learns to pass block and is shown college level he's capable of. He learns to pass block. I'm assuming this is on Hall, but not 100%. No way to prove in his second year already. Had multiple spike weeks rookie season. Obviously, it's peaked. I think we're talking back to Hendo, I'm guessing. Sorry, I'm so behind. Algier to KC is around Swift, if not ahead. Yeah. Algier to Kansas City is a dream. So that's what I mean. Like, we're going to see some of the market shake out depending on what happens. Algier goes that high, Brees can't go that low, or the market is flat wrong. I mean, yes and no. Like, the opportunity in Kansas City is just much, much higher. Like, how many touchdowns did Kareem Hunt have last year? What, 8, 9? And that was Kareem Hunt. Like, Algier could have 12 touchdowns. And of course, Hall's a much better running back. But touchdown opportunity is going to be so key. This is where I'd be at. Brees 4-5 turn, Algier 5-6 turn. Because the 4-5 turn is a much different argument than Brees going 30th. Brees going 30th, I mean, 29th, like, we have Josh Allen right there. It's not just first running backs. But even in that vein, you know, you have Kenneth Walker right there, ETN, Kyron Williams. I mean, those guys are just much more smash plays. Maybe somewhat that changes where Walker and ETN end up. But yeah, Algier to the Chiefs could easily do better than Brees on the Jets, signed a Brees truther. I mean, honestly, I would like Rico the most on the Chiefs. Like, you know, Rico was so fun when the Panthers were giving him full workload last year. I'd love to see it again on the Chiefs. What you talking about, Malik Willis? Love it. Figuring around round 3 of the second draft, Steve will get disappointed. Chad, let's see how it goes. That could have been if I just started the draft right away. Malik was 180s, 190s at open. Fair, but he moved up pretty quickly. And so it was like 10% got him in the 180s, you know, and 10% got him in the 160s, 150. You know, like, most are going to get him in the 130 to 40 range. Give this man some legs, please. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. We got Gamblestein in here checking in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, let's hit the like button. I'm going to get in a second draft shortly. We'll have some time to catch up and chat because I'll be on with Duhames. Let me get this draft started. Entering the big board 2 in 10 seconds. Entering in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. If Green got 30 more targets, would you take him in the 5th round? Because that is RJ Harvey's stat line to a T. No, but Algier can get 1,000 yards. Like, Kareem Hunt was just a touchdown merchant. And yeah, had, you know, almost no passing game work. No, but that does talk about like where Harvey's at as well. We got Kicks checking in. As soon as Minnesota gets quarterback, I can just see a long debate of Lamb versus Jefferson for wide receiver 5. I agree. From today moving forward, our rankings 1,373 players. Keaton is afraid this year. A free agent? I think he's a restricted free agent. I'm pretty sure. I can look that up. All right, I'm in here. We got Omega King in the 3. I'm in the 8. And we got Kendall from Fantasy Life's in here, I believe. I'm assuming that's her name. Oh, I missed Aiden at 5. So good luck, everyone. We are going to be getting at it. And I will finish checking up with chat, but let me double check the free agency status of Keaton Mitchell. Now I will say, Keaton Mitchell's a restricted free agent. Now, maybe I missed and they aren't tagging him like the Packers announced with Manuel Wilson, but I'm assuming Keaton Mitchell's back. Yeah, restricted free agent. $37 teams, 37 players per team. There we go. Testing for tight ends is so important that it's a red flag if they don't test without an injury. They don't have the Bowers level production to fall back on. I mean, they're going to eventually test. This isn't going to be like a Marvin Harrison Jr. thing where they don't test as well at all. I agree. I would have loved to have seen them test. And it's one of those things, even if they have a bad number, like if Max Clare didn't think he'd run his best, maybe because, his season ended a lot later than some others. I get it, but I'd still run it. And then at your pro day, you can run it again. But I do agree testing is important. I'm just assuming we're going to get these within a month. Ultimate White Male. Hey, Steve, just found your show and enjoying your insights. Who do you think is the surprise offense this season that could throw off unexpected production? Appreciate that. I appreciate you for subbing to the show. Unexpected offense. I think there could be a couple. I'm actually kind of bullish on Tennessee. I think they were really held down by the coaching staff last year. And Cam Ward, we saw play better down this, the last 5 weeks. So year 2 of Cam Ward, I think Brian Dable was a positive for him. I think it's a positive coaching upgrade. O-line has a lot of, high draft picks and some investment. They need to play better, and they need to, they just cut Cushionberry, so they need to get a center. But they have a lot of money. Running back, they could stick with what they got or go Jeremiah Love, as the betting markets expect. Either way, I think they're above average, and with Love maybe even very good. And then receiver wise, they at least have receiver tight end wise, they have those 3 4th rounders. DK, Io Manor, and Helm all did enough as rookies to show promise. I think they add 1 or 2 pieces there. So not saying that they're going to be top 5, top 10, top 15, but could they crack the top 20? Yeah, offense, I think they could. I'll go neighbor. Actually, I don't do it a lot. I'll do Trey McBride. Likely will just be a 2 tight end build for me if I'm investing in this early of a pick. If you're asking for somebody who could jump into the top 10 or top 15, give me a second to think on that. I would probably point to let me just look at the ranks last year, make sure I'm not saying somebody who snuck in there last year. And not just obviously if Joe Burrow's healthy, the Bengals are top 15 or top 10 team. Tampa is another one that I think injuries played a major role for them. And Eagles, I've talked about a lot. I think the Eagles are going to be a good offense this year. I think they're really held back a little by the offensive line, but mainly by the coaching staff. For me, I'd say it's the Chargers. Yes, there's injuries, but I think coaching staff as well. I think we have a franchise elite quality quarterback in Herbert. We get a young, exciting rookie, second-year running back in Hampton. Offensive line, I think, gets a major facelift, particularly in the interior. They have 2 bookend tackles that just need to stay healthy. And then they have weapons. Even if they don't bring back Keenan Allen, McConkey, QJ, Trey Harris, Gadsden, that's a great weapon tree. Whether they bring back Keenan Allen, whether they add something there. And then finally, Mike McDaniel, absolutely can turn an offense around for sure. So that would be probably the one. They finished 20th last year in points. They could be a top 5 team in points. I mean, here, don't have a ton of Bucky, but he's fallen. Trying to force me to take Brees Hall. I'll take Kyron here. You started the draft after this one. I was one spot on, Steve. You were in the 7th when I posted that. Oh boy. Cowboys like to wait until at least a month before the season to get deals. So yeah, that's been their MO. I do wonder if that changes a little bit, just because they free up a ton. Like right now, that $27.4 million in cap space is just that. They have to keep that locked into George Pickens. And when they extend him, they could make his cap hit for next year under $10 million. So that frees up a lot more cap to get other signings done. Lando Stefanski could be a giant riser, assuming they find a quarterback. Yeah, Vegas is going to make a jump. I think talked about with Huhames, like they were saying, like they were trying to run plays that they didn't work on all week in practice and stuff like that. I mean, Chip Kelly, it was such a mess. Rare Zay sighting at 27. That is pretty high. I'm not that in on Zay. I like Zay, and I know Mike gives me crap for it because he's a Ravens fan, but like I really like Zay as a player. It's just he goes way too high in these drafts. All right, I'm caught up in chat. This is amazing. Fernando Mendoza can have a Joe Burrow type rookie season. Well, hopefully not tearing his ACL, because that was Joe Burrow's rookie season. But he could look good. I think he's going to look good. I said, from a fantasy outlook, at best, he's probably like QB 15, QB 16. He's going as like QB 22, 23 right now. Probably settles in around 24, 25. So I think there's a little value to get from him. I don't think, he's not going to be just the guy that you need, but maybe at cost. So Devonta Jameson or Devonta, I will go. Adams is just the safest of this bunch. So I have a major NFC West team built out here. Getting 2 Rams, there's just so much touchdown upside there. Mendoza to Bowers is going to be the koi fish pond. New coach online isn't related to Kubiak, so we're off to a good start. I'm going to leave a bunch of one-letter comments so you never got on the chat. Famous last words. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Let me go to the board since we got a couple other people in here. Mega King and Aiden. So Mega is at 1021 and Aiden is at 0130. I went with Trey McBride, one of my few shares of him so far. But, like I've said, I want to mix it up some. So no, it is just getting back to the different coaches. Like top end players on these teams aren't going to change, but even guys we think are safe could not be safe anymore for sure. And I know even guys we were excited about, like Brian Thomas last year, just he was not clicking in that Liam Cohen offense. Now I still think there's upside there for him, but it was definitely an issue. So some, we should feel better about, like, David Blau, though he's a first-year play caller, taking over. It's at least promoting from within. Not that always works. We saw that with Tampa last year. It did not work. We saw that, like the Lions. Lions still maintain like a top 5-ish offense, but just situationally were bad. And just never felt good. All right, let's 56. Took Watson last time. I think Carnell Tate. Actually, I need more lemon than Tate. So I prefer Tate. I prefer Tyson, but I do want to have a fair share of lemon as well. It's just one of those things where I want to be even. Landing spot's going to matter so much. Second year Joe Burrow was incredible. No doubt about that. When contest opened, I took Zay Lamar at 4-5 turn. Not a fan of pulling Zay up there. Lamar's wide receiver 1 is so bad. It's not that he's bad. It's just there's not a huge touchdown upside for him. It's a weird thing because he did finish as like wide receiver 7 overall last year, but he didn't get a lot of teams through to the playoffs. So he ended up better in like marathon format. And also, I mean, his week 18 was one of his strongest weeks, so wouldn't help there. But if you look weeks 1 through 14, he wasn't good. He was like wide receiver 21. He had a tremendous 15, 16, 17, and 18 that really pumped up his stats. So yes, those could happen at any time, but I just don't see a huge touchdown upside, and that I think limits him. Like generally speaking, Metcalf is going to have a higher touchdown upside. He had 6-7 with the rushing and missed a couple games and dealt with Arthur Smith's anemic offense. Marvin Harrison missing time, 4 touchdowns, etc. Just his profiles is more of a touchdown guy. So Monty goes at 63 here. Would have considered him at 65. And Mike Evans, of course, is just a touchdown monster. Let's take. We'll take Metcalf here. Don't want to do. I relatively like Harrison's price, but not doing 2 Cardinals. Not without knowing who I'd be stacking them with. I'm going to propose a vote in U.S. Congress that Steve Schaub must legally be required to add Lions Thanksgiving legend after every David Blau reference. Yes, he was the Lions Thanksgiving legend for sure. This was also in the Matthew Berry report, and I've seen other things allude to it, is they asked what could his offense look like, and they said like Ben Johnson light. It's obviously very promising. And it could be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised from that at all. And first year play caller. My concern is just he was the assistant quarterback coach, assistant to the regional manager, up until Pritchard went to take the head coaching Stanford job late in the season last year. So it's just a big jump for him, and just a lot of pressure. And it's not like we see, like the Rams do this. The Rams promote Kevin O'Connell, and then the Nathan Shalassi, young, sometimes former players, but it's still Sean McVay's team. Like, this is Dan Quinn. Like, there's no offensive overlord to maybe rein him in a little bit, or keep him grounded or anything like that. So would have some concern there. Like, not massively, but I'm willing to be interested in David Blau, Lions Thanksgiving legend, producing a pretty good offense this year for Washington. Don't think I'm going to go quarterback here. I think I'd go Ricky Pearsall, making team bets on the Rams and 49ers feels pretty good. Speaking of top offenses, that's where I'm at. WFN Warehouse is like Andrews, with Lamar, not Zay. And I just don't, I really like Zay as a player. It's just not seeing a massive upside. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone's opinion. Please stop stopping on my Zay. Sorry, down and crying. I wish he went in an ADP that I like. I mean, Jacoby Myers, he shouldn't go in the 80s, but the difference between Zay and Jacoby Myers is not big. Just historically is not that big. Last year there was more of a difference, but if Zay was going like 65, 70, I would take him a lot more. Estad checking in. Walker to the commies. I could see them making a big splash. So they have freed up a lot of cap space. So I could see them making a move for sure. I think I keep pushing running back here. Let's take Jacoby Myers. Have a really good, I think this ends up being a pretty strong wide receiver core, elite tight end, double anchor running back. Oh yeah, baby, give me PTJ and Marv. Love it. Bullish or bears? One NFL team decides to let AI call their plays on offense. I think that would be a mistake, but for some teams, it might be an improvement. Jacoby and Zay comparison. Oh, Steve, just kidding me. You're in the basement next few kids. Trying to push the Zay agenda. Oh, jeez. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, Mike in our Discord had his kids record a video talking about how every time I change my rankings, they don't see their daddy. So if you need a good laugh, check out our Discord. It is a free Discord. You can sign up, link below. But that was legendary. AI would have been better than Chip Kelly. I think that's what AI was. Like, that's the problem with the AI. AI would not know the nuance to not call a play from your playbook that you have not practiced all week, right? Like, that's the issue with AI. Bengals are cheap enough to try the AI thing. That probably is true. If they get rid of Zach Taylor, they could go AI. Let's start with AI reps. I should money and a thing. I should let AI choose my wife. Meg saying more videos from Mike Robb's kiddos. That was hysterical. Too good. If you let AI do that, money will be a big thing for you. Nice and Blunt saying, good to see Nice and Blunt. Just hit Madden recommends every snap. Yeah. All right, I will make this pick and go back to the board. I think I'll take a Rico share here. Maybe he gets that Chiefs landing spot. time. I will be on at Who Hames at 3. It might be a little late. I just looked at the time. This definitely took longer than I thought. But I'll be finishing up this draft and then get on out of here and go over to Who Hames channel. I will drop a link before I get out of here. Omega's in at 1242. Aiden is at 2250. I'm at 0351. What keep telling myself that, you know, I took Trey McBride and to change my mindset on tight ends. Definitely some receivers here. I don't know why Jarian Price is falling. If anything, I think the combine as a whole, if anything, combine I think shows he's probably the clear RB2 in the draft. I think it's a second rounder, early, mid, late second round. Probably depends more on need. So I'll take the depth on him. Talk me into a perfectly perpendicular 5.55 build. Yeah, that would be something. I mean, is there a way to do that? Boy, could I burn a team to try and do that? Maybe at some point. I think your first 10 picks are wide receivers and running backs. And then your last 10 are quarterbacks and tight ends. That is, I think, the only way you could do that. And it would be very, very interesting. That would be a wild team. Could you imagine that being in like the finals and people being like, what the hell is this? Not even the finals. You get to the playoffs and you see your pod and there's this odd 5.55 team. More and more people down on Emmett Johnson. Like Who Hames says, we will be definitely discussing that, mainly because he ran a slow 40 time and some other things. We'll talk about that more with Who Hames. I think there's still a very good price for Emmett Johnson out there. So I'll say that. And I think people are overly reacting to some of this combine stuff. So I missed out on, Purdy and Stafford, but I could not resist Price there. I need to get a quarterback. I'm going to take Malik Willis, I think. Darnold is very reasonable. I think Malik Willis, most likely landing spot is Arizona, would be my guess. So, I think I have a reasonable chance of a stack here. But, no guarantees. And while Darnold is easy to backstack, Willis just offers a little bit more upside. Yeah, he was getting a lot of hype, and I think this is not that there's nothing to take from running back drills, and we'll talk about more, but it's just. I think what it does is it impacts his draft capital. The idea that Emmett Johnson could be RB2 is far less now. The idea that he's going to be like an early to mid second round, far less now. Probably still a day 2 guy. Could still sneak into the second round. Could be third round. Outside chance he falls to the fourth, I think. And, so it just changes his upside case. 8 percentile and 3 cone, he should probably skip that draw. Yeah, I mean, every other running back skipped that draw. I have no idea why he'd do it if he was going to do it that bad. I've been backed into several 5-5-7-3 builds. I don't recommend it. Yeah, I don't recommend it either. Just in my head, it's a fun exercise. I think I'd do like a running back, maybe 5 receivers in a row, and 4 running backs or like a running back, 3 receivers, running back, 2 receivers, running backs. Like I said, top 10 picks I think are running backs and receivers. And let's see here. Take Romeo Dubs here. Actually, no, Cam Ward. I just need a quarterback. It got real thin at quarterback. So a little early for him, but can't guarantee I'm going to get him. Don't disappoint your sister. Aaron Rodgers already has his mailing address on your QB3 spot. Wonder where all that Emmett Johnson hype came from, huh? Yeah, no, I'm guilty as charged. SAP model. No, I mean, again, I'll talk about a lot with Uheems. Like Emmett Johnson, he dominated the Big Ten. Like that's unquestionable. And he dominated at a point when their quarterback went down and he was their entire offense. Everyone knew he was going to get the ball. Nobody could stop him, including like good defenses like Iowa. And he's also a good pass catcher. The athletic measurables, that's a factor, but it's far less for running backs than people give her credit for. Not when we're talking high end. Like, does Emmett Johnson have the outcome to be Jahmyr Gibbs? No, of course not. Does he have the outcome to be even James Cook? That's far less likely now. But the outcome to be a good starting capable running back, he's still well in play. It's just now teams might not view him the same. And definitely not every team's going to view him the same. Yeah, this might be an Aaron Rodgers team. It's not looking good. Yeah, we were going to go Alvin Kamara here. Yeah, that's right. That was a pretty wild build. The guy who won the Fast Puppy 2 years ago. It was like was it a 5-5-5? I know it was like 5 receivers, which was wild. I didn't remember. I thought it was 4 quarters, but I could be wrong. It was a wild build for sure. Johnson would be good. I just think of this universe telling us still a good pick, but don't expect the same outcome as we got before Scatterbill injury. Yeah, he could dream to be Rashard White. I mean, yeah, again, like I said this yesterday or the other day when I was on Cody's stream, off the Shine stream, from a size and 40 perspective, his number is the exact same as Alvin Kamara. 5'10", Kamara was like 210, Emmett Johnson's 205 or vice versa. And they both ran like the same 40. So, and pass catching upside. Now, Alvin Kamara was a 3rd round pick, and that's what I mean. Now, that was an insanely deep running back draft. This is not a deep running back draft, so maybe that pushes him up. Not loving. Yeah, let's just get done at running back. We'll take Connor. I don't think he ends up in Arizona. There's obviously some potential team correlation here. But if he lands somewhere, if he gets cut, I think there's going to be a market for him. Joke's on you, got Richard and Emmett. Some reports DJ Moore may be staying. How do you put the Bears wide receivers in their ADPs? I haven't really seen those reports. I mean, I know some, they've been like, it's not like confirmed. Like there's a Bears quote, like we like DJ, but we need, I can't remember what it was exactly. So if DJ Moore stays, I think Moore should fall a little bit. I think Burden should fall a little bit. Odunze's probably fine-ish. Loveland, maybe fine. Like arguably they all should fall slightly. Moore should be more in like the 110 range, would be my guess. DK goes. That's who I wanted. We will go. I think we'll. No, I think I need more wide receiver here. Like Troy Franklin. So I obviously wouldn't love that outcome, but I think he can still be fine. The Bears offense should be really good. Got better down the stretch. Caleb should keep growing. I do think the offense is going to mainly run through, in the passing sense, through Odunze, Loveland, and Burden as the top three. More, will he have a couple spike weeks? Sure, but I think he is much more upside on another team. I've been checking in. The Fast Puppy lineup was 3-4-7-4. Gotcha. Wasn't there a team? Maybe it wasn't the Fast Puppy. There's a team. Wasn't there a team that won with 5 wide receivers? That was just so crazy. But that was, yeah. Their center retired. Dahlman retired. Wow, Drew Dahlman. Yeah, he's only 27. Ooh, that is not great for them. Now they need to trade DJ Moore because they need to get a center as well. But yeah, that's was not expecting that because he was a big signing for them last year and had a good year. Good addition. Interesting. So I'm just going to pull up Dalton Schultz. He's one of the safer guys. While there's some other receivers I like there, I'm going to tight end. So done at running back, done at tight end, quarterback and wide receiver the rest of the way. It's Alec time, baby. It could be. Could be. Yeah, I do remember one team that was 4 quarterback, but it must not have been the Fast Puppy. Who's your biggest surprise quarterback to start the majority of the team's game next year? Early guess is Tua, going almost undrafted. Yeah, I don't really consider Tua to be likely to be starting next year. So if it happened, like if he gets the right landing spot and it then occurs, then yeah, that would be the biggest. So if you're asking who I project as the guy who's like going undrafted, but probably will be starting the majority of games, I still kind of think there could be if Derek Carr unretires, then no, and a handful of other things, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus Mariota finds his way to a starting role. Might be the Jets, might be the Browns, Dolphins. I just, wonder, guy with a ton of experience, been around the block, not going to really block a rookie. So if, say, like a team like the Dolphins or Jets or Browns and maybe not even with where they're currently sitting in the first round. Definitely not for the Dolphins. Browns and Jets have later for additional later first round pick as well. Are looking for the Ty Simpson, market. Then those teams like Marcus Mariota makes a lot of sense for them because it's just let's get through this year. Raymond Zaney, yeah, the Fast Puppy champ. All right, I need to make this pick here. Oh, man, I'm going to be taking way more time than I thought. Yeah, let's do it. I think that's a little fall. As I said before, I think there's a little upside there. Need some quarterback help. It will not be JJ McCarthy. I can promise you that. So after I get this draft done, I'm going to be jumping on with Huheim shortly. Let me grab the link and share in chat. I appreciate all the great chat today. Been a lot of fun, a lot of great things to talk about. Some surprising news like that Drew Dalman retirement. We'll be interested to see what the Bears do there. Like I said, Huheim and I are going to be talking a lot about the combine and how it shakes up. So I just want to, before I forget, I want to drop, this is the link for Huheim stream. I'll be making these picks, so I'll be a little late, and we'll need to, after this, run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be a couple minutes late on Huheim's stream. Huheim's, if you're still here, feel free to start the stream. I'll jump in as needed. Like, I understand this took longer than I thought. Yeah, I will need a minute or two in between. Appreciate that, JT. Really appreciate that. All right, I'm up here. I need quarterback. So let's go Aaron Rodgers. I have DK Metcalf. It just makes some sense. If he's back, it is with the Steelers. Like, there's like a 1% outcome to the Vikings, but I think that's very, very unlikely. Then my last two picks are going to be wide receivers to catch up. Overall, I mean, this quarterback room on paper, I know a lot of people will be like, this is awful, but with Malik Willis, I think he gets a good landing spot. And I actually consider Arizona a pretty good landing spot with LaFleur and company, with, McBride, Marv, Wilson. An okay-ish offensive line, or at least the potential for one. And of course, I have McBride, so that makes even more sense. If he ends up somewhere else, Vikings, I think, would be great. Steelers, if Rodgers retires. Don't really see him with the Jets. Don't really see the Dolphins, just from a money standpoint with the Dolphins. Same with the Browns. Cam Ward, as I mentioned before, I think this is a terrible offense last year who has a lot more upside. Did not get Io Manor. Where did he go in this draft? Who stole him from me, Mike? Io Manor 184. That's unfortunate. Oh well. He went, right before my Schultz pick. Had he been there, probably would have taken him. Maybe not, because usually it goes 190, so I probably would try to push it. Anyways, even unstacked, I think Cam Ward has some value. And Aaron Rodgers, if he's back with Steelers, is stacked. Kind of one double anchor here. McCaffrey, Kyron. This feels like a Keenan Allen team. Let's get some surplus value potentially here with 9 wide receivers. So double anchor, then Rico and Jadarian Price, 2 other guys who I think are very, very live to be starters next year. And then Kamara and Connor, 2 vets, whether back with their teams, it seems less likely for Connor, but whether it's back with the teams or somewhere else, could be pretty solid. Receiver, more of a volume play, but still have Adams, Lemon, DK Metcalf, Ricky P, and Jacoby Myers. So 5 in the top 100. I waited till Adams. And then following it up with Franklin, Mitchell, Keenan Allen, and who I'm about to take. Then tight end, Trey McBride, and then Dalton Schultz, who I think is solid value and also just very safe. So a lot of safe, just safe. All I just need there with McBride is safety. Can Schultz get a couple weeks, maybe where he's a flex or, he slightly outscores McBride, sure. But just more from, just in case McBride were to miss some time. So we're just going to look at wide receiver here. I think I'm going to do it. If he's there, I'm going to take Bryce Lance. Let's get another upside play. Ted Hurst would be another one. So don't forget to jump over to Whohame's channel. And I appreciate everyone for joining me. I will get out of here right after I make this pick because I need to go run to the bathroom and then jump on Whohame's stream. So Hurst goes. We'll take Bryce Lance. That'll be my final pick. 9th receiver. Just an upside play. I actually think the core is really strong. I think Franklin and Mitchell can be number 2s on their offenses. Keenan Allen has a massive upside if he signs anywhere. And Bryce Lance probably has worked his way into the 2nd round, 3rd round at worst, I feel like. And yeah, this turned out to be a different team than at quarterback, but otherwise, I think fairly strong. Just looking, Minshew went 3.77.3, Mega King 2.882. So some different builds there. Mega King's core of Chase, Bowers, Flowers, and Lamar. So you got the Flowers, Lamar. That was what the stack talked about was earlier. Got it early, and but Burden. Did he land Caleb also? No. Mendoza. Then Minshew, JSN and Neighbors to start, and Mbuka, BTJ, Harrison. Walker is like his anchor, and then one volume running back. Dart, Mayfield, and late Jacoby Brissett. So thank you everyone for joining me in chat on stream. Jump over to Whohame's channel. I'll be there in a couple minutes, and I will catch you next time. Have a good one.